Hello, my Dargons. It is I, the one and only DragonTamerRuiz, back from the dead as it were, bringing you another Tokyo Ghoul Rebirth analysis video of sorts. Today we'll be going over the Premium Spd Nishiki, Fest Light Toka, and Fest Light Akira. I'll be going over their sets at level 80, their ability skills at level 1 and 5 with damage calculations, if they do it of course, and my final thoughts on the units as a whole. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Ignoring the sense of deja vu, Spd Nishiki starts with 6,800 HP, 570 attack increased to 870, 420 defense increased to 620, 3 AP maxing out at 9, and 3 durability maxed out at 11 thanks to abilities and weapon upgrades. Overall, a pretty good styling for a premium unit, not gonna lie. Going over his abilities, his first is as follows. Increases max attack by plus 300, second increases max defense by plus 200, third increases max durability by plus 3, and his fourth increases critical hit rate by 15%. His mastery ability helps with his damage output being increases damage versus bleeding characters by 1.5 times. While not as high as non-killing owl, it can still help his damage output with the higher numbers. Now moving on to his skill at level 1. It is chance to inflict bleed on enemy for 2 turns, deals attack times 1.6 damage to one enemy 3 times, cures bleed status of front row allies. Something to note before we get into calculations, if you haven't noticed yet, he doesn't give himself an attack buff, so these numbers can potentially get higher when buffed by another unit. So we take his 870 attack and multiply that by 1.6 multiplied by 3, equaling out to 4,176. While being low, it does get better, so let's move on. His skill at level 5 is as follows. Very good chance to inflict bleed on one enemy for 3 turns, deals attack times 1.6 damage to one enemy 7 times, cures bleed status of front row allies. So now we change the 3 to a 7 in the equation and we total out to 9,744. However, if the enemy is bleeding, it does jump to 14,616, and again, it can go higher if buffed from another unit like Light Heisei or Fest Light Toka, which we'll be going over later. Overall, this Nishiki can be a decent patch to one's team. He shines greatly in the Bleed Synergy team with other units like non-killing owl. While his damage output isn't the best and he isn't guaranteed to cause bleed, I feel like he could work out overall. However, myself, I would not go for him specifically. However, if he happens to pop up in a multi in the future, I would not be disappointed. Now moving on from one Bleed Synergy unit to another, we have Festival Akira. Starting things off, she has 8,800 HP increased to 9,800, 610 attack increased to 1,010, 300 defense increased to 600, 4 AP maxing out at 10, and finally a measly 2 durability maxing out at 7. She has moderate defenses and an excellent attack stat, outshining most premium units. Once again, festival units, god damn it. Continuing on to her abilities, we start at her first. Increases max attack by plus 400, second increases max defense by plus 300, third increases max HP by plus 1000, and her fourth extends bleed duration on targets by 4 turns. To complement her fourth ability, her mastery increases damage versus bleeding characters by 2 times. Well, the last character we went over with this skill did amazing damage, so let's see what she has to offer. Her skill at level 1 is as follows. 1.5 times your attack for 2 turns, deals attack times 1.6 damage to one enemy 6 times, and reduces durability by 2. No bleeding in sight yet, however, let's calculate her damage. To start things off, we multiply her 1010 attack by 1.5 from her attack buff, making it 1515. Then we multiply that by the 1.6 multiplier by 6, totaling out by 14,544. Quite a bit of damage at skill level 1, however she is a unit you want to invest into her mastery. Moving on to the good stuff, her skill at level 5 is 1.75 times your attack for 3 turns, deals attack times 1.6 damage to one enemy 10 times, and reduces durability by 3, inflict bleed for 4 turns. There's the bleeding! It is worth it to note that her 4th turn is increased to 8 turns from her 4th ability. Now to the math. We change the 1.5 multiplier to 1.75, making her attack 1,767. Followed by that, we change her hit count from 6 to 10, making her do a total damage of 28,272. I don't know why I was about to stumble there. And if there's bleeding, multiply that by 2, making it a total of 56,544. Oh my god. Festival units just... man. With the right setup, she can excel at damage dealing and keeping the bleed status effect for other units like Premium Nishiki or Non-Killing Owl. However, something to note are that unlike Nishiki or Non-Killing Owl, she doesn't cause the bleeding status effect first, meaning she won't get the ×2 multiplier if she's the first one to fire her skill. Also, she does do durability damage, so keep that in mind and hold off from using her skill if you want to give someone else the break. Now the last unit we'll be covering today is Fest Light Toka. She has 7,890 HP, 560 attack increased to 760, 245 defense increased to a whopping 745, 5 AP maxed out at 12, and an abysmal 1 durability maxed out at 9. While she does have lower attack than some other festival units we know of, I will note that she is a support unit through and through. Her AP count helps with adding to your additional combo count, and her 745 defense helps with her survivability overall. Her abilities are as follows. First increases max attack by plus 200, the second increases max defense by plus 500, holy shit. Third increases max durability by plus 4, and her fourth increases healing of all allies by 20%. That's going to be very helpful later on. Her mastery is restores her HP by 30% after inflicting break on a target. Very situational, and to emphasize it, it will only heal herself. So again, as I've said, it's situational at best. Moving on to her skills at level 1, it is 1.5 times the attack and defense of front row allies for 3 turns and restores her HP by 10% each turn. The fact that she can buff both the front rows, attack and defense alone is already amazing. However, she also heals the HP, which goes up to 30% with her 4th ability, while they have those buffs, helping your team's overall survivability. Her skill does get a bit better if you do wish to invest dupes or stimulus into her, so let's move on to that. Her skill at level 5 is 1.5 times the attack and defense of front row allies for 4 turns, and restores HP by 20% each turn, cures all status ailments of front row allies. So while the stat buff doesn't go up any higher, it does last for 1 more turn, and her healing is increased by additional 10%, making it a total of 40% every turn the buff lasts. Finally, the cherry on top, curing annoying status elements such as paralysis or bleeding, so your team doesn't have to deal with them. Get that out of here. Overall, she is a terrific support unit with amazing survivability potential for herself and her team. While most events never really need any healing, it is welcomed. However, one thing to note is that if you do use the skill, let's say after Festival Orima uses the skill, she will replace his 1.75 attack buff he gave himself with her 1.5, which can make a bit of difference in some scenarios. But other than that, a great unit overall. However, that is all the time we have for today. Did you enjoy today's analysis? Feel free to leave a like if any of this information helped you. Also, why not subscribe while you're at it for future analysis videos. And as always, if I got any information wrong, feel free to correct me. Without further ado, I'm DragonTamerRuiz, and this was a Tokyo Ghoul A Rebirth analysis video. Goodbye, my sweet little Dargons. Hello, welcome to the end of the video. While you're here, why not check the 2 videos here right in front of you, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter, link down in the description below, for all future updates. Goodbye!